We are good. Everybody, thank you for joining us, those who do. If you guys are on replay, you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, ask questions, and that good stuff. I'm so excited to have this interview here this evening. We've got my man, Steven, who's been out here, and Steven was inside, the Crusader program, and I remember I was just telling him this. We had a conversation late July, probably right after he joined, and then I didn't hear from him for about 6, 7, 8 weeks or anything. And all of a sudden he was like, man, I just got 9 clients in 9 weeks. I think you're at 10 or 11 now. Super excited. So we're going to talk about that, give you guys some actionable tips. As always, guys, some great stuff to take away. But first off, man, Steven, introduce yourself, dude. Tell us about you, who you are, what's going on.
Yeah. So obviously my name's Steven. I'm from San Diego, California. I have been in the Facebook marketing space for, I would say 16 months now strong, like 7 days a week, live it, breathe it, and the whole thing. So my whole story was, I almost got lucky, to be honest. So my first client I ever sold was back when I lived in Arizona, and he was a Cairo. So the whole Cairo thing, crazy offers and stuff. But this was, so this is about 16 months ago. And this is when all those ads were just killing it, so I got him good results, and he actually was using a CRM company that was asking about who I was, and this was my first client. So right off the bat, we got in contact. We actually went out and had breakfast face to face, and I ended up doing all their digital marketing, and I still do. So technically I started off as a freelance type digital marketer who is basically on the back end executing results, which is where, I'm pretty well, I feel like I'm pretty good at digital marketing now, Facebook, and stuff like that. But from there, what tended to happen was I wasn't involved in the sales cycle. So it got to a point where I was like, damn, like I'm getting results. This is sick. But now I'm trying to kick things up and really, start hitting some real money, real goals.
Yeah.
So I was, obviously going after it, and, I didn't know how to qualify people. I wasn't controlling the call, and I wasn't really getting the clients that I wanted just because I didn't know how to talk to them, and I really like the entrepreneur side, docs. I feel like we're in a very similar niches and people we work with, and the guys who are, entrepreneur, like just, the ones who can talk the way you talk is, what I started to adapt to. And now it's like second nature. And it's only been 10 weeks now, 10 weeks. The first 2 weeks were rough. I was like, oh shit, like this is this is a trip. We're getting calls now. I'm dialing in all my email marketing. I have 2 people who help me tremendously on that side. But now we're, I can do up to 10 calls a week, 5 demos a week. And now it's no butterflies, no jitters. It's just straight. What's up? Like, what do you need?
I love that. So I want to touch on that here shortly. That's awesome, man. So I want to, with your background, what were you doing before getting into the Facebook world, man?
Yeah, so that's funny. So my whole goal before the Facebook world was, I was really into health and wellness. So my whole goal, and it still is, but my whole goal was like right out of college, I wanted to work for basically this health and wellness type restaurant that was kicking butt in our area. Like this is the place where everyone's at, getting all their green juices, all this health food. And I ended up becoming the GM of that place until it literally, it's so much work, guys, like especially the restaurant and then the pay. And I was just getting frustrated. Yeah. And I knew that if I put all this energy towards, my own stuff, that I could, do some damage out there. But after that, I actually, my first attempt at entrepreneurship was, we started a cleaning company, a commercial cleaning company. Me and my cousin, like right when I quit that job, it was like full force. And then boom, doing things that you're not really passionate about just to make money. That's the first lesson I got, trying to create this company. Yep. That's the first time I started talking to chiropractors and stuff like, we'll clean your office, we'll do all this stuff. And really I was so hungry for something, and then, that's how Facebook came. Cause I needed to know how to market the first company. And
gotcha. Awesome. I love that, man. I actually started a cleaning company. I no longer have it anymore. I was partnered with one, sold off on that earlier this year. It's really difficult stuff. I love it though. So you had a bit of an entrepreneur juice inside, found Facebook ads. We're doing some big work for some CRM company. You got them as a client, right? And then you got in, which is awesome, guys. By the way, his first client, big referral. You're one client away. I know Russell Brunson says that shit, but you are. You could be one unicorn client away from just exploding. That actually happened to us at one point. We were doing all right, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month, somewhere in there. I don't remember the exact numbers. We got one client and then boom, within like 3 months, boomed 100K. There was so much we got going on. I love it. So you got to a point where essentially you were like, you know what? I need to go out. I need to get involved in sales. I need to bring some more people in, go with this. I know you joined up, with the Crusaders, and then you started talking about qualifying calls, things like that. So I want to move to that because that's super important. I think so many people are lost on sales calls, and getting clarity on that can be a game changer. But let's talk a little bit about, those first 2 weeks. You said they were rough, and then you kind of turned a corner, it sounds like, in regards to your prospecting. So let's talk a little bit about what that looked like.
Yeah, so the first 2 weeks, I still didn't fully absorb the information. Obviously it's repetition. When I knew when I was entering the course, I was like, okay, so basically I'm gonna learn everything from like I know nothing. And obviously that takes time. That's repetition. I mean, that's me walking around the house like 100 times with my freaking cards, like, just dialing it in. And
so you actually hold on really quick. Guys, this is the shit it takes. I love this. I love that you just fucking said that, because I listened to so many sales calls. I role played so much when I was getting started. I still do to this day. I'm going to sit down and get on calls with my sales guy over the next week again. So we're keeping sharpening my skills, sharpen our pitch. But you wrote out actually like the qualifying call questions, things like that? Or what do you mean when you said you were carrying cards around and looking at them?
Yeah. So my questions, I wanted them to flow naturally. So with that, I was, I'm more of like a old school type, writing stuff down on like hard paper and literally shuffling through them until I literally dial it down. And then I would practice those calls with, a fake doctor or a fake.
Love it, man.
And what was funny was during that process, I was still having calls. So I would try to like remember my script in a way, and it just wasn't, it doesn't come off like so natural where so that was the first 2 weeks. And I was like, all right, that's like, we need to get this into where it's like smooth. And obviously it took more repetitions after that until I started really, I've had so many different types of calls. I've had, tons of objections and this and that. And really like, I've been there to where you feel like if you don't know if you're ever going to really get it, or if it's like, if it ever comes easy. And it really comes down to the repetition side.
Dude, it's so true. I want to highlight that because it's so true for anyone watching right now. So many people out there think that sales is like this magical, mystical, skill. It's like, no, it's fucking not. You just do it over and over again. First, you need a proven process, right? You need something to follow. Because you just go out there and wing it, it could be brutal. Hopefully you'll figure it out eventually. But like once you get some sort of process, you have some sort of script. It just takes time because everyone's nervous the first time you get on the call. I love that you brought that up as well. You're like, the butterflies are gone. We're coming in. I'm watching my scripts. So that's awesome, man. So then it just started like really taking off. Things started clicking. The calls started going better. Is that typically what happened?
Yeah. So basically, you start getting real comfortable. It's to the point now where like I'm not even nervous on my calls at all. And I've had some guys who, sometimes, well, back in the day, if they said what they said to me now, I would probably stutter and be like, oh,
bro, we're in the same niche. These guys can be.
Yeah. Some of them are just like, but now it's like, I don't even care. It's whatever. Like you're just projecting your insecurity on me. So I'm not even worried about it. But basically now my whole strategy from a sales perspective, now that I'm more comfortable with it, is I immediately try to get on that personal level, like with my guys, whoever I'm talking to on the phone. And this is gonna be funny, but right when I hear some sort of slang or maybe even a cuss word on my sales call, I know it's game time. Because now I know that we're on the same, like we're going to speak how we want to speak now. And it's been funny, like the past, I want to say, 10 calls, I'd say half of them, they've said either the F word, the S word, not in a way towards me, but just describing how they feel or what's going on. And then immediately that's when I feel like I can do one call closes because I can dial it in. I future pace. I actually future pace with real results that's very relevant, and I can basically flex on them and then get them to the point where, I'm just like, look, it's a $2,000 retainer, and we can get this set up for you in 72 hours. And it's like, that's it.
I love it, man. I love that you throw out future pacing there. So important, guys. You guys got to understand what future pacing is, what it means, how to utilize it is so critical to every step of the sales process. So I got a question. When you heard them swear, did that mean you would start swearing too towards at certain points?
So I always mirror my prospect.
Yeah.
And I definitely, do my swearing at home, not not obnoxiously, but I know how to talk the same. I just mirror them. Yeah. So if they're dropping F-bombs, I'm not going to drop F-bombs too, but I'll definitely talk like how we're talking.
Yeah, and my main point is I do too. So I'll drop the F-bomb if I hear them do it too. I don't ever lead with it, right? But like you said, once I know, I'm like, man, this is gonna be fucking sweet. Let's go. Yeah. This is my guy. This is my homie. And it's really important to let down some of that professional guard, guys, at some points. And when he says mirroring, what he means is taking the same stride as what the person on the other end of the phone is. Because when you get on the phone with somebody, you need to quickly identify with them. Are they an analytical person? Are they, somebody who just wants to go get it and pie in the sky? Are they a bullshitter who just talks big? Because then that way you can pick these things up through the qualifying call and use that information on the demo call to help close them, because not everybody needs to see all the crazy numbers. Some people just want to be sold the dream, right? And mirror. So you want to mirror. Another way to mirror that's really important, guys, is to make sure that you keep up with the tone of the prospect, right? Like if they talk really slow and they're from the South, you don't want to be like me on my lives most of the time and just like, blah, 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 and I had to learn that really, really fucking strong when I worked in the NFL with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was so important to learn mirroring, because down in the South, they talk real slow and they go blah, blah, and I'm coming at them like hard. And I actually used to carry this thing up on my wall that said, it was a big fucking poster that said, slow down. Because I knew that I needed to slow down. And when I did that, my sales just increased massively. So I love that you're talking about mirroring. You're talking about pacing. Guys, it's okay to get personable. One of the things we need to understand when we're doing this is we need to get rid of this whole concept of just because they're a business owner, they're some sort of special human being. They're not. I promise you, they are not. They are people. This is a person to person. I think that this whole concept of B2B is just going to be gone soon, because we sell people to people with social media, everything else is going on. We sell person to person. So be personable, try and connect with them on a certain level, and don't be afraid to, share stories with them. I think it's really important that we share stories that we look to connect with them. I'm very big on always trying to share as many stories as I can with people, because you want them to get to a point where you can develop a quick relationship, rapport with them, where they're not only just saying no to your service, but they're saying no to you at the end, and then you can do that with what you're saying. You can flex on them. You can go, this is my guy. I'm ready to go. So that's awesome that you were able to discover that and really take advantage of that. Plus, that's going to turn into better clients for you long term, because you guys are on the same wavelength. You got friends. I still have friends of mine who are clients who text me every day that I sold years ago. Well, I haven't managed, they're with my company, but I haven't managed them in forever. But we're boys. One of them I was texting on Sunday about the Packers game, this, that, and the other thing, all from relationships built 2 years ago. So look for those connections.
Mm-hmm. That's it's huge. It's such a, almost like a stress reliever too, because when you can communicate, very quickly like that and just be how you want to be, it overall, you don't have to BS anything or come up with some, dumb response or some, something that you don't really mean. If we didn't get leads for 3 days, it's look, this is why, we're working on it. This is what we're doing. Just being very straightforward. And when you have those relationships like that, that's where you have the 12-month contracts. I still have my first 2 clients ever. I still have them to date as well.
That's awesome. It's awesome, man. Yeah. It's so freaking important to do. I love that you brought that. Guys, give me a 1 if you want to talk about how we're setting these appointments, guys. Give me the prospecting side of things. And one other thing I want to note, if you guys are interested in the prospecting, let me know if you want to hear how we set the appointments. One other thing to note is you guys might be like, oh man, like, oh, well, I don't know how to develop rapport. I don't know how to do this. The only fucking way to know how to do it is to do it. You can study theory all day long. Yes, you want a blueprint. Yes, you want a roadmap. You want to know, have an idea where you're going. But until you actually have the calls, you can't expect to become a boss. You don't just walk into it, right? You guys know my story, 10, 11 months, no sales, nothing. I used to be scared as hell on calls. Now it's gone. It's not even there. I've sold a couple hundred people at this point. Things tend to go away, right? So the only way to get rid of anything fearful is to do it over and over again. So we must attack our fears. So with that, man, I love that. That's some good stuff. We haven't really talked about mirroring and pacing on in this group or the free group here very much. So I love that you brought that up. Now, let's talk about some prospecting strategies, bro. What kind of stuff are you doing to hit the market to start setting some of these calls?
Yeah, so in terms of setting calls, we're really heavy on cold email. Yeah. So when I used to cold email, like back in the day, I literally got a horrible response rate, and I was always like, what is going on? Like, and the whole process just really was, it was a weight on me, because not only are you putting in the work to build these lists, and then you feel like you got all these emails, and then you send out your email and then you get nothing. I used to think email didn't work, and what it really came down to was your email is just not good enough. Like, what it's saying is not good enough. And we have responses all the time that literally go straight to the front desk, the gatekeeper, what most think is the trash can, and it just gets simply forwarded to the MD or whoever it is, and so that's a big one. It's, what are you saying? Are you actually putting in some time to craft something? Are you testing it? Or are you just kind of putting something out there and, just not doing
cold email, billions email, like email, more money is done on email than like anywhere else in any other platform anywhere. I don't care what fucking platform it is. All e-commerce stores, everybody sells through email. Like, guys, people still read their emails. And I love how you brought up the front desk this, I don't even want those emails. They're bad. Bullshit, they're bad. Of course they get passed along. You know where I've gotten a ton of clients from? Fucking spamming contact forms. Especially if they're personable, if you know the client, you know what you're doing, and if you do a little homework on them as well. I'm a big fan of personal emailing. I love mass cold email blasts as well. We've got strategies for it, but I really think that it's important, especially at the beginning, to be sending personal emails, call follow-up, things like that, because like you said, your emails just aren't good. Your delivery is not good, or your email domain's broken, whatever it might be. Cold email is huge. It still is the number one place. I mean, look, LinkedIn, Facebook, these things are fantastic, and they work as part of a full-on strategy, no doubt. But cold email works. I love that you brought that up. So, and then what else, brother?
So cold email, cold Facebook, we'll hit them on both.
Yeah.
Just to be completely straightforward, those are the two only channels we use effectively right now. It's email, and then we're going to hit up the Facebook page as well with
awesome.
a very similar message. And then I used to be very big on video prospecting, and I still am. But instead of taking time to create these videos and send them out cold first, the first reach, I only do that once I know that this email is actually the individual on the other end that I want to talk to. Because if I create all this time and make these videos and then I don't get any response rate, it used to affect me. I'm like, man, like, we're taking so much time doing these videos and my response rate's terrible. I would rather, send multiple things out, personalized and blast. And then once I know that they've responded to it, then I'll hit them with all the value in the video that I want, because I know that the open rate is a 99% and it's the individual on the other end.
I love it, man. And it's so powerful to have that as a piece of your prospecting strategy. Guys, if you're not using videos, whether that's short intro videos, a lot of different types of videos that you can utilize out there, Steven, that that I talk about. And I love using the omniprints, the multi-step strategy, And the reason why video is so important, guys, and it's so huge to learn, utilize, and once you I love how once you found what worked best for you, right? Because, and if you notice, there's other people inside the Crusader group who use it a little bit differently. They'll open with this message and then say, The reason video works so well, guys, is we must humanize ourselves to our prospect, okay? So that we're no longer just, a cold email blast or spam or whatever it is. The more you can humanize, the more they realize you're another person, the more that they're going to take you seriously. And then if you're taking this time to build these videos out for them, the more they're going to be like, damn, this guy really cares. This guy's what's up. So that's huge. I love it. I also think that's important on Facebook as well, because then they can go in and they can look at your profile, they can look at you, they can see what's going on. And then you've got to be omnipresent, guys. If you're not doing multi-channel platform stuff right now, you're missing out. Between Facebook business pages, cold email, LinkedIn, hitting them on all of those. Hell, even Instagram business pages can be used right now. So that's freaking awesome, dude. I love it. I love it. Guys, ask any questions that you guys might have here as we go along. So the next thing I wanted to chat about here is, some of the sales calls. Let's talk about how many it took for you to, get comfortable. Let's go into some of that type of stuff. Because it sounds like you're getting quite a few calls with the strategy. Actually, really quick, you mentioned you have some VAs. You working with VAs who are doing your email stuff?
Yeah, so I have one all-star VA. Shout out to Diana if you're ever watching this. But yeah, she's awesome. She does a lot of the the grunt work, the list building, but properly what is our, ideal client, not just all this, mess going on. Like, so we're really, really specific on who we want. And she's does a very good job at that. And she's also, she's a graphic designer. She has, a lot of capabilities on the side. So we really use her to do a lot of the things that are very time consuming and basically drive me insane, because I've done it for the first.
As soon as you guys get some clients, we want to get VA help. 100%. I love that, man. I love it. All right, so we've got them booked. You're jumping on the call, right? You're jumping on the calls. Let's talk a little bit about some of those first ones you mentioned. You had butterflies. The reason why I like to share these stories is I think you saw me post the vlog one. I don't know if you saw that, where I posted the video for me from like 2 years ago. I think it's really important for people to understand that we all start in the same place, that we all start scared, no idea what we're doing. Guys, just so you know, anyone who's watching who's not inside the private Crusader group, I released a video for me 2 years ago when I had just learned about Facebook and we had like no clients, and I'm very like reserved and quiet and a completely different thing. But it was important to send out because it was good to connect with, like, hey, I didn't always have, an office and a couple dozen employees, or I don't even know how many employees, 18 employees, whatever. And, a couple $100,000 a month in revenue, right? It takes time. So let's talk about some of those first calls you were getting on, some of the fears you might've had, and then how that's transitioned over the last couple months.
Yeah. So, I don't think there's too much like information on it. I think really what happened was, like the first ones I sucked, and it really got to me.
I guess that's really it. Huh? At first you fucking suck, right?
You know when you said the wrong shit, or you know your tone, or they just like, what? Like,
or you don't know what to say, you say something doesn't make sense.
Just like
where you're at, or you're quiet for a minute. Yeah. Everybody.
So after time, I mean, when this stuff it matters so much to you, these moments that when stuff does go wrong, or things don't go your way, or things are awkward, or whatever can happen, I personally absorb that, and I'm like, that's not happening again, or I'm not saying that again. So really what happened was, it's just the repetitions. Like, it got to a point where the repetitions just easily cleared out the me having any butterflies, or me being not sure on what I'm going to say, or anything like that. And all my calls aren't always the same thing. Like, I really go off them. Like, some guys, those guys, like, how much is it? And I'd say, 9 out of 10 times, they're not the right client. But that one guy who's just like, look, how much is it? What can you do? Let's go. Like, literally, I've had calls like that where it's like
that happens. And I think it's great you did that, because I know that's actually very, very true, and those stats are correct. 9 out of 10 times, guys, when people say how much is it up front and they're acting like it's expensive, they're fucking jackwads and you want to move on. But there is that 1 out of 10 guy who, and this is how I would be. Literally, this would be me. If you were selling to me, it would be like, how much is it? I want to buy it in fucking bulk. Just give me a price. I know I got this shit locked down. You give me a good price, I'm in, you know, and I'm out. Like that's how I would be with it. Right. Yeah. Because, you know, I don't have time to, I wouldn't want to spend 2 hours on a sales call pitch. I'm like, dude, just give it to me as quickly as possible. I need to make a decision. I make decisions quickly. I don't sit on it. I have money. We're good. You know? So every once in a while you can get that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's kind of happening more in the space, especially if any of you guys are, you know, integrated medical or anything that is around, you know, pain management or anything like that. And I feel like these guys are starting to become more entrepreneur minded now that they're, you know, integrating their clinics, especially DCs, with stem cells and this and that. And now they're like, okay, like this is real. They are doing entrepreneur stuff. Like if they're holding seminars and they're bringing in stuff that they're not even qualified to do and they're hiring and this and that. These guys, you know, sometimes on the call, I mean, you can ask them all your qualifying questions, but really you know that they're qualified already for the most part within the first minute. Yeah. And if they're just like, look, like, what's up? Like, what can we do? Yeah. How many butts can you put in the seat? And
that's it.
I like those calls. You know, I like those calls because then, you know, I mean, the demos are, I think what do you call them? You know how you break it down like the Russell Brunson, and shout out to you showing me that. I mean, that's been absolutely killer, especially on the calls that need that. Yeah. But for what I'm talking about, sometimes it doesn't even need that, and they're just direct, and you know, you just.
I love it, man. Well, and that's the truth, right? Like, I mean, the reason why I put the demo and the pitch in there like that and walk it through is because that's where you want to get started. But once you know your niche, you said something that I know you know your niche because I know I'm in it as well, with the butts and the seats. Those are the guys who already know to qualify. And guys, the only reason you know that, we don't need to go super in depth into why that makes sense or why, but like he knows based on one line whether they're qualified or not, because in this niche, it's a really important thing to get asses in seats for seminar. And so you know right away, but you only know that by having lots of calls, right? And continuing to go on. And also, guys, know your niche. Know your niche. Look at it. Here's another thing I want to talk about while we're on here. This is kind of a side tangent. Steven, this doesn't have a ton to do with you. I'm going to be talking about this a lot tomorrow night in the private group on it when we do the sales call breakdown. But the niche. So many people overthink the niche, and so many people think that some other magical niche is just going to be way better, right? They're just, oh, that industry is just better. They're just gooder people. Bullshit. Like the fact of the matter is, what we need to do is we need to get better, to serve our clients better, our customers better. Yes, there are some niches that are predisposed than others to not be as good. You know, a flower shop might not be the best niche because they don't fucking buy leads, right? Don't take me at like, make sure you look at the niche a little to make sure they buy leads, right? But like when you're looking at chiropractors versus dentists, oh, this niche sucks or they suck or they can't do anything. It's like, look, guys, most local businesses struggle with closing leads. Like that's something we just got to accept and understand. That's why they need our help, because they don't know how to do it. You know, that's why there's so much opportunity here, you know, because there's so much. Give me one, guys, if you lost a client to lead quality, you know, but that's why they need help. That's why they're taking these calls. So we got to understand that. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So if you just know your niche better, know your industry, and provide them a better service and opportunity, you can help retain them longer and do better by them as well. So that's kind of just a quick side tangent, guys, for all of you who think, oh, well, this niche is better. And honestly, when you're getting started, you're not going to know what a good niche is anyways. So just pick something and just go and just get some money and get some experience, because you're probably going to lose the clients anyways. You're probably going to screw up the calls anyways. Like, perfectionism, I said this in a video the other day, but I really like this. And this was when I don't remember where I first heard this from or where it even came from. But this idea of perfectionism and getting ready to get ready is nothing except being self-conscious. It's literally just insecurities. Perfectionism equals insecurities. Okay, so nothing's gonna be perfect when you're starting this stuff. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing. I have a video of me saying 2 years ago, I have no clue what I'm doing. I just gotta fake it till I make it. I have no fucking clue. Literally on video, records of it from 2 years ago. And you know, it's amazing sitting back, you know, because I just went. You just hammer it down and you do like Steven's doing. You get the calls, you take the action, you move fucking forward, you just keep rocking and rocking. So for somebody who is, you know, starting out, doesn't have any clients, man, what kind of, you know, what would you do? I guess if you had lost all your clients, what would you do? What would be your first steps? Let's talk about your first week right now. I know this is always a fan favorite.
Yeah, so I was actually going to say, you know, if I could wind back the time and you actually created the course back in my beginning days, man, I literally, it's weird. Like, I honestly feel the 7-figure mark would probably be very, very approachable. And
I love that mindset, bro. It is. It can
Yeah.
happen in a year. It can happen in 14 months with the type of trajectory you're on, bro. And we're gonna help you. We're definitely gonna help you get there. Keep going, though. I love that.
Yeah. So definitely, I would get in the course 100% because you need to know proven systems that actually work. Other than that, you need to work on yourself 100%. I mean, it's either you're all in or you're not at all. And I'm talking like Saturday, Sundays. This is all I do for the most part. I mean, my fun is when we get a client or something, I like to go out to eat. And I eat, we'll just order, good food. And that's how I celebrate. But on Saturday and Sunday, I'm not waking up hungover. I'm not doing things that really impact my week to come forth, because on Saturday and Sundays when I can really kind of get ready for what's about to go down. And, overall, I would work on yourself, like, how serious are you? And I would reverse engineer your result. Like, if you want 50K a month, which is my current goal right now, you need to, like, what does that mean? Like, have you literally broke down the steps on what that actually means to hit 50K, or are you just saying it? And so first thing is getting in the course, learning actually how to sell, learning proven processes, and breaking down what your actual goal is, improving yourself as a person on, the whole, just confidence.
Psychology, bro. Psychology is everything. I'm huge on it. I talk about it damn near every day in there. Yeah. I love that you said reverse engineering. Upcoming on that 6-week, the 6-week group coaching and training, we're going to be doing a lot of reverse engineering. So it's going to be good, even though it's going to be a little bit geared towards some of the beginner status style stuff, people without clients. It's going to be really, really good for people who are where you're at, where you want to go, because I'm going to be going deep into reverse engineering. I'm going to be talking about the way I set goals, how I set goals, what I'm going to talk about, what the hell I write about every single day, all day in these things, every single morning, what I go through, what my days look like, exactly how I would recommend setting up your prospecting strategies, cut through some of the noise. There you go, bro. I love it. I love it. I love it. Dude, right here, I got 4 journals full of shit, man. Literally just journals on journals on journals, bro. Write stuff down because it's so important. You have to know where you're going, because like I talk about a lot is you've got to have a vision. You have to see yourself somewhere. You have to see yourself where you want to be before you get there. That's all life is, really. Anything that's ever been created around us started as a thought. It started in somebody's mind, and then they went out and they worked towards it. So we need to know exactly where we're going. And then not only we've got to take it a step further, because that can be able to woo-woo. We need to know, what is it going to take to get there? Okay, I need to send 150 emails. I need to have 10 calls. I need to close 3 clients. We need to do X, Y, Z. And then you just keep track, and you go towards it every single day. Because I plot my goals in here. I've got a calendar that I write down everything on my computer that goes through all the tracking and everything. So hyper important, guys, to set that and work on your psychology, because your psychology is everything. It's everything. It is the difference between any human being. The only difference, really, despite, in my opinion, what the media and all this stuff says between, this, that, and the only difference is people's brains. Like, that's it, and what they want to do with it, right? And it really just comes down to their goals. It just comes down to their goals, where they want to go, and the action they're willing to take to get there. I love that you said all in. I went all in. I talk about going all in the course. I talk about going on in the webinar, right? You've got to dedicate yourself and believe that you're going to make it happen, because there's so many people out there who don't believe that they can get it done. Well, you've got to believe. What the fuck else do you have in life other than believe you're going to get something done? Like, you get to choose your reality up here, guys, just in case you were ever wondering. You get to choose what you believe or not. And it is possible to actually shift your thoughts. So I love that you said that, man. That's so sick. So let's go ahead.
Real quick, just to touch on your point, I've also been in the situation to where, I'm listening to what you just said. I'm absorbing it. I get it. Thoughts become things. You either – what you subconsciously think about can either is really what's going to happen, so if it's negative or positive, that's basically what the outcome's going to be. And it's kind of hard to be on the low end of the spectrum where you don't have anything yet, but you understand the concept and you're just like, damn, how does that actually work? And to be honest, it's for me, it's been, just like you showed your journal, if you're literally waking up every day, writing down, reading, read, think, and grow rich 10 times. Write notes on it. Understand all that stuff.
I love it. Yep.
you will persuade yourself on whatever,
And you'll start to get it out. I think one of the biggest things that's going to come out in the next 5-10 years, outside of, like you said, alcohol being just terrible. Alcohol is like one of the most destructive forces in all of life. Don't get me wrong, guys. You can still go get drunk a couple times a year. I'll still go get hammered. I don't drink on weekends anymore though, but I'll still celebrate whatever. So I'm not trying to sound all high and mighty, but it's not conducive to you hitting your goals. And I promise you, for those of you who might be, in the party mode, doing a lot of that type of stuff, and you want to get out, life is so much better with that. As someone who went through it for years, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm perfect. I'm no angel. I promise you all that. Yeah. But it's like I had to choose. Okay, I'm going to get hammered every weekend, or I'm going to make an impact, a difference, and make some money along the way and build a business, right? And this is so much more fulfilling. There's so much more good long-term shit there. You just got to become obsessed with it, right? We've got such an unbelievable opportunity right now. Do I love every single thing that I do? Hell no. I have to make incredibly tough decisions. A week and a half ago, I had to lay off somebody who was one of our first hires, one of the most important people in our business as we grew. It just wasn't a good fit anymore. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do. But, you just got to do it, right? Let's see, what was I just going to say? Oh, I was on a tangent there. In the next 5 to 10 years, you brought up the subconscious, that type of stuff. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about when we say like the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, that's going to be one of the biggest things that science comes out and proves. They're already starting to prove it in regards to meditation, the visualization, learning more about the brain. It is so important that we understand what those concepts mean and how we can impact them. Because if you think about it, none of us we don't think about almost anything we do. Like when you're driving a car, all the stuff, who do you think's driving? Like you're not. Like you're fucking thinking about, what somebody yelled at you about or what your wife or your kids want, right? You're not thinking about driving. There's other things that control our lives and we can learn to imprint them. And you just do it every single day. So for like a year straight, I would go outside and I would look at the stars and I would look at the moon. And I just remember thinking because I was exactly like you. I was believing in this thing, but I didn't know how it all worked because there was nothing in my outer reality showed what I was trying to think on the inside, but I just kept going, kept moving forward. And then all of a sudden one day things just started fucking happening. And I just kept pushing. And then all of a sudden the momentum hit and then it's like boom, 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 boom. And then you just start rolling. You just can't give up. You just can't give up and you've got to just keep going.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, we're going to be wrapping this up here shortly. Let me know if you guys have any questions or anything like that. About, with Steven, his experience, what we've got, the Crusader program. We are closing the Crusader program in 2 days, shutting it down for the 6-week online training, week by week coaching that we're going to do. We're going to walk you through. We're going to jumpstart your agency. If you have no clients, you've got a couple clients, we want to get you that 5-10K mark above. Steven, is there any feedback, thoughts? I know you brought it up a couple times already, but any thoughts that you would want to mention for anybody who's, on the fence or has thought about joining the Crusader program?
Yeah, so if you're serious about your results, 100% get in on this program, especially if you feel like you're not really getting out what you're putting in. And it simply could just be a small error on your part that you're not aware of just because you don't know what you don't know. And when you go in here and you can really get the foundation of what's actually worked, Nick's built a multi-million-dollar agency off of these off of what's in the program, you can go out with confidence and execute what's in the program because you know that it works. So that's one thing. If you're new or you've been in it and you're just not getting the traction that you want, I'd 100% get in. Like I saw Nick's course and I bought it immediately. It was funny because I actually knew you through Mike, like just through the first time we ever talked. He was like, yeah, B Top Local. I was like, who's B Top Local? So I knew of you guys. And then when I saw you, I was like, oh man,
Bystrom?
Yeah, man.
Nice. All right. I love that. Nicest guy in the world. Love Mike.
Yeah. But awesome. I knew you were the real deal. And I knew that cause he was like, dude, we're doing this over here. And I was like, dude, that's crazy.
This is a doc for everyone. This is a client of ours and he's the shit, man. So I appreciate all that, Steven. But yeah, guys, if you've got any questions, it's going to be shut down in 2 days. We'll keep you posted on it. What's awesome and what I'm excited about around this round, man, is we're going to be there's a massive training. There's so much shit. It's almost overwhelming, right? There's just so many different ways to do things so much. that we're going to be doing that 6-week step-by-step program, one-on-one coaching to go through. So super excited about this round. And yeah, we'd love to have you guys in. If you have any questions, feel free to PM me, Sema as well. We'll get you taken care of. We'll answer any questions for you. Let's see. I want to make sure we have any questions. See here, Courtney.
One more thing regarding, like, even if you're even if you're one of those guys or girls who's getting results and, like, really getting the traction going, it's still worth investing in, because it's almost like you can split test like all this other knowledge in this group and really just kind of open up. Now you can just start trying multiple different things and be, you may have your specific goal, but I mean, you can try this, and then you can increase your conversions on your sales calls by 20%, 25%, and that's easily an ROI immediately.
Absolutely, man. And then on top of that, we've got our entire inbound page strategy in there, step by step, broken down. I know a ton of people on this call. You guys have probably all seen my ads. You're about to see a shitload more of me.
I see them all the time.
You're gonna see me on YouTube.
I see them all the time.
We break all that down. That shit brings us so much revenue, so many new clients. And my goal is to get people in, get them the cold prospecting, get them going, get first that fast hump, and then move them up to the inbound page strategies, get them past 100K, bro. So that's what we're gonna be working on with you, Steven, man. I appreciate your time here today. You guys rock. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Actually, you know what? Looks like we've got a couple questions. Courtney, our life is a printout of our subconscious mind. 100% agree with you there. Vlad, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Yazil's inside of the program. He's got a question for you here, Steven. By when do you want to hit your 100K month? What's your reverse engineering?
Yeah. So actually right now it's 50K. So right now it's 50K, and it's actually by January 1st. And I'm glad you asked that, because now you guys are putting me on blast. So
let's do it.
50K by January 1st. And what that looks like right now, starting this week, which is basically, I created it on Saturday, I bumped it up. But what that means is I need 2.5 clients per week. And starting this week, I'm already going to hit that. And what that means is 10 clients per month. That's a big deal for me. Just getting into this multiple, now I'm learning basically the reverse engineer on my side. Like, the prospecting is easy to understand, and the clients that it takes to hit that number. But now it's like, what does it mean on a fulfillment process? What does that mean on a customer service process, especially if you're in this lead handling, local lead gen? I need to have someone who's constantly chatting with my clients, making sure that things are flowing smoothly, and then we're not just talking at the end of the month. That also means, another VA, people who can, it creates a bigger team, because to do all that, you can't be Superman.
It's a lot. Fulfillment can be big, man. So make sure that you dial in an unbelievably strong referral program. Look for those sales disciples who are out there, incentivize them, do anything you can. Every single time, this is a great tip for everybody. Anytime you talk to a client and they're happy, ask them for a referral. Give $200 discount. Give $500 in free ads. Whatever it might be, just say, all you got to do is email me over the name. Let's go. Because these guys all know other people within their respective professions, right? So anytime anybody's ever happy, ask them. Make sure you build out a banging ass referral program. And also with that, make sure you don't give away too much. Have it be a one-time $500 fee, something like that. Don't get into residuals and shit like that. Maybe in super rare occasions where they're, a consultant and they've got like 1 million people that they can dip into, or they've got some special stuff. But yeah, build out that referral program, dude. I love it. I love that goal. Let's fucking hit it, dude. Let's get it. What we're going to do here next week, we're going to have an accountability chart. We're going to talk goals. We're going to have people up. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff coming here for the 6-week sprint, because we're going to have about 6-7 weeks before Thanksgiving here, when things can kind of like slow down a bit. So we got like 7 weeks to hit it hard. And don't get me wrong, we don't slow down during Thanksgiving, but that week maybe a little bit, and then we hit it harder afterwards. So we got 7 weeks to the holidays. So Steven, man, I really appreciate you taking the time here today, dropping some value for everybody, sharing with people what you're doing. You're the man, and dude, let's get to 100K, bro.
Yeah, man. Cheers.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. All right, let me make sure we're good.
Oh, is it off the live?
Yeah, we should be off. Let me just double check and make sure. I never know. All right, dude, thank you, man. That was awesome. Love some of the shit you said, dude, about some of the subconscious, all that. Keep going down that route, dude. Yeah. Like, that shit, I'm like obsessed with that stuff. Like, every single night, like, I'm so crazy about it right now. Like, so we had an experience that I'll share like in depth with everybody over the summer where we started a call floor. You might've seen me post about it a little bit. That's going to end up costing me probably $500,000.
No,
And
wait, you guys get in a lawsuit?
no, just in lost cause, fired, lost clients. We're shutting it down. So it's about an opportunity cost. It's like actually $250,000, but probably about $500,000. Like, you know, if I look at everything and what we could have done and could have been doing in the process, we went the wrong direction, right? We make mistakes, took a risk. And like, I lost $80,000 in a month before, you know, and around $60,000 a month, and been $80,000 in 2 weeks away from hitting payroll last year. But this was a new one, right? This is a little bit bigger. You know, clients were really, really angry, like really mad. So it took a lot. So I really moved my mindset game to like a whole nother level, dude. Yeah. Like, and it's been paying off. Right now we're on a trajectory. We're going to take over this new branding stuff I've been alluding to. I don't know if you've seen it on any of the calls. Is going to change the game for retention, long-term, all this stuff, bro. I'm like at the point where every single night, like I listen to like subconscious shit. Every single morning I get up and I do my priming, my meditation. I write, like, cause it was like, fuck, I was like, well, this is a new one, you know, cause it's like, I could look at it one of two ways. I'm like, well, this sucks. You know, and I don't like really have millions of dollars sitting around in my pocket, you know, to do that. So it's so important, dude, to just dig in, because it's not always easy. You hit roadblocks, all kinds of shit, you know?
Yeah. No, like when even if one, like I could have, let's just say I could have 30 clients, and if one client is pissed off, it still affects me. Like, it's fucking weird, dude. Like, I'll be like, damn, like, this is not chill. And it's almost like you've probably been there. It's like a weird feeling. It's like, man. And then you can't let that carry on.
Dude, I've been through all of it. So I was obsessive. I was like exactly like you. The way you're talking, your mannerism. I worked all day Saturday, Sunday. I was answering clients on Sundays. I was watching every single lead that came in for every single client. I was giving them updates. So I've had to let go of those things over the last year. So we can talk about that too. But I get it. It's all part of our progression, right? Like when a client was lost, I would just freak the fuck out. Now, if I freaked out when I lost clients, I'm like, well, shit, you know, we've lost just a few of them. So it's a progression thing, man. It's part of the deal. You come to learn, especially when you get like really, really comfortable with your sales. Because right now you've been on a rock star run, you know. But once you get past like 100, then you really start to internalize and understand. I can get a new client anywhere, you know, because a part of you most likely is still in the back of your head, like, fuck, am I getting more clients? How long will this work? You know, it's natural, right? This is new. We've got something big. We don't want to lose it. So it's all part of the progression, dude. San Diego. I'm going to be out there in like 3 weeks, man. I'm coming down for Billie Jean's event. So we'll definitely have to get together. I think I'm going to do
like the actual party.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, dude. I think we're going to, I mean, I live right by it. The Music Box where the venue's at.
Is that the one on Saturday? So I'm in his League of Extraordinary Geniuses. So I'm flying out Wednesday. Thursday, I'm going to be all day with Billy. And then I think there's just a couple of us there. I think I'm going to be at a School of Genius Friday, and then is his party Saturday?
Like, I couldn't tell you.
I don't even know.
All I know is that he's really excited about it. You know, it's the one where it's like decked out. You know.
Yeah, dude. He said he's spending like $500,000 on it. So the most ridiculous. Dude, he's so out of control. Really sharp dude. But that Wednesday night, we're going to be doing a meetup. So we'll have to hang out there for sure when I come out. We'll meet up. I'll get in touch when I get closer.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Definitely. Cool. All right, bro. We'll keep crushing it, man. I love it. Thank you for jumping on, sharing the story. Let me know if you need anything, dude. And by the way, keep your head down off Facebook, bro. It fucking slows you down. Focus is everything. Like, focus on the goal, the task at hand. Maybe set an hour a day where you can check your shit, go in, see if there's any knowledge bombs dropped, get anything good. Yeah. Focus on the grind, bro.
Well, I want to make it a point to start doing that, because eventually, you know, if that's basically what I would love. I know you're creating your personal brand now, right?
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing is personal branding is the shit, dude. And
dude, it's the future. Yeah. 100%. So I'll have information on that too as we go out. But I would doing stuff like this, you know, the rise up, the come ups. I did something like this with Danny Viega a year and a half ago, and that actually what started you know, Business Not Bullshit group and getting some people going and all this. You know, like, agency's still my number one focus, but personal brand is everything. But I'm going to leverage my personal brand for clients, bro. So I'm Forbes, Entrepreneur, all this stuff. I'm on Instagram. I got like 21,000 followers there, like, or 20,000 followers there. And yeah, dude.
Big deals, man. The 10K deals. Because eventually I want to, you know, I would like to start going towards, you know, the 5K, 6K, 10K.
Yeah, the non-shitheads, I get it.
Yeah.
So there's an event that is coming up. Do you know who Bob Mangat is?
Yeah.
Okay. So his event is coming up in November 11th. November 30th to the December 2nd. I would check that out. I'm going to have more information and details on it. Probably going to bring him. I'm going to be speaking out there. But Bob is a master. He's also in our space here. But he's a master at positioning, getting stuff set up, and he's really good at that side of things, you know.
I've been watching him for a long time.
Yeah. He's all over our space, right? He's really good at that. But yeah, he's asked me to come speak on sales and get people in because he just doesn't sell that much. You know, he's all about the retention in the long term, which is awesome. And charging a lot of money. I mean, his average management fee is $7,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking sick. So I'll keep you posted on that, dude. You should come out for that. But yeah, man, I'll be in touch here as we get closer to San Diego, bro.
Sounds good, man. Talk soon.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Peace.
Later.